Yo, what's up? Welcome to Kind of Funny Gamescast for Tuesday, June 3rd, 2025. Your second Kind of Funny Gamescast for the day. I'm one of your hosts, Blessing. Adeoye Jr. Joining me is the Nitro Rifle, Andy Cortez.
Hey, Bless.
How's it going? Good afternoon. Nice to see you again.
Good afternoon. How was your lunch?
Dude, I scarfed that down real quick.
Yeah?
Real quick. I had another hand roll, as I do. I've been on a run of hand rolls.
And hand rolls, when you think about it, very similar to ice cream.
Very similar to ice cream when you think about it, because they're in like a cone shape. And then, like, you know, like the seaweed plate paper they use to wrap it is like a cone. Yeah. And then, like, the rice and fish they have inside is like the ice cream.
I think everybody has thought that once in their life.
I think everybody has been saying that.
They go, yeah, you know what? You're right.
Everybody's been thinking that. I'm the one who says that now.
Yeah.
Remember, this is the Kind of Funny Gamescast. Each and every weekday, we get together and talk about the biggest reviews, previews, and topics in video games live on YouTube, Twitch, and on podcast services around the globe. If you love what we do, support us with the Kind of Funny membership on Patreon, YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts to get all of our shows ad-free. Watch us record them live and get a daily exclusive show. For a chance to be a part of the show, submit your thoughts and opinions as YouTube Super Chats as we go. Some housekeeping for you. It's a big old week. We're throwing a Switch 2 launch party this Wednesday going into Thursday morning. Tune in as we pick up, unbox, and play our Switch 2s for the very first time. Barry, if we can bring up this Blue Sky post, because it's just been announced in the previous Gamescast that Greg and Tim will be going to the Nintendo store and streaming live from there. We're getting started at, it doesn't say the time. Does it say the time? It doesn't say the time on the tweet. I'm going to say 7-something is when we're going live with that. So tune in, hang out with the folks that are going to be in the studio, and then the folks that are going to be at the Nintendo store. I want to come through. Here's the thing. Nobody wants to invite me to the nighttime stream, but I'm going to come through. All right.
Oh, I invited myself on there because I'm like, I don't got anything going on.
Listen,
like,
I wasn't on in the meeting, so I'm pretty sure.
Whose fault was that, Blessing?
Greg's for sending me to LA.
Oh, okay.
So I'm pretty sure it was mentioned that anybody can come through, but I'm just gonna, I'm gonna throw blame.
That's what it is.
But I wasn't invited. I'm gonna come through anyway.
We're all dressing up.
I'm gonna dress up. I'm gonna wear a mask because surely Snow White Mike will still be fucking sick.
Of course.
I imagine.
Oh, if he's still sick, we're sending him home.
And then it'll be me. It'll be me and Roger playing Mario Kart World.
Well, no, I'm gonna.
The way that I planned it, just me and Roger playing Mario Kart World.
I'm the one who forced myself into it.
Can I be honest?
Yeah.
I got volleyball tomorrow night.
God damn it.
I got volleyball tomorrow night.
You can't do that.
But like I missed the last 2 volleyballs. It's a new season. I've not shown up once yet.
You can't do that.
I'm the captain. I got to show up to volleyball at least once.
That's like saying I have volleyball practice like on Christmas Eve. You can't do that.
What's up, Roger?
I just want to admit something to you, Andy, about the graphic. I changed the graphic because you bullied me. You made fun of me, so I got embarrassed. So I changed the graphic, and I got sad, and I was
Roger,
like, okay, well, I'm doing it.
I liked all the warped text. That was on every single text thing.
It wasn't enough.
And I think there should have been more warping. Like, just warp the fucking top, the top text that's there too.
I mean, it wasn't the vibe he was going for. You guys are mean.
It wasn't meant to bully. I was like, I like the concept of like it looks like a nightclub kind of flyer. You know,
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah,
but it also
I love graphic design.
What I read as I read it as like he watched a YouTube tutorial and was like, let me apply this to all of the assets.
Yeah, and like
And
you know what,
I think it looked great.
I think it looked cool too.
Yeah.
But that's happening. Switch 2 launch party tomorrow. Tune in. Don't be late. Of course, remember, we're an 11-person business all about live talk shows. You already had KFGD about PlayStation State of Play predictions and a different Gamescast breaking down our Xbox showcase predictions. If you're a Kind of Funny member, Snow White Mike goes big with this month's Patreon exclusive poster made by the incredible Panda Musk. Tread the Narnar is what it says on Patreon before the month ends. It's a really cool looking art.
Beautiful.
Right here.
Panama's so talented.
Great art style. I don't like saying shred the narnar out loud. Today's Greg Way is Greg's review of the ROG Ally X so far. Thank you to our Patreon producers, Carl Jacobs, Omega Buster, and Delaney Twining. Today we're brought to you by Xreal, but we'll tell you about that later. For now, let's start with topic of the show. The topic of the show is a spinoff of a KFGD story that didn't happen. So me and Tim, right, we sit down for KFGD. We start doing the show. We talk about our PlayStation predictions, and then we move to story number 2. But before we moved to story number 2, we went to ad break and we had a conversation, a really real conversation about how big this story is, because The Witcher 4 had a big old presentation at the Unreal Engine 5 event that went down this morning.
Part of Summer Game Fest.
Part of summer. It's part of the week.
When I open up the Summer Game Fest website, which, by the way, Summer Game Fest has a weird website. I don't think I like it.
Barrett, pull up the Summer Game Fest website.
I don't think I like it. The icons reminded me of like 2009 iOS, maybe 2011 iOS. It's just something about the Summer Games website. I don't.
Is it summergamefest.com?
Summergamefest.com. It doesn't.
That's why
it
I
feels-
accidentally put it in Summer Games Fest.
It feels like
wow.
a website that is unofficial that a fan made.
It looks like it's optimized for mobile.
When
even
you
though I'm
scroll
on-
down, well, I mean, those graphics look good, but like, I don't know.
It does look like an iOS thing.
It's interesting. Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's where I saw that the Witcher thing was going to be there, which was kind of surprising.
So I was talking to some people about this, right? About how when Summer Game Fest first hit the scene, it was Jeff Keighley making a calendar and essentially like claiming every other showcase as being part of Summer Game Fest. I didn't know he was still doing that. Any new show, because like the PlayStation State of Play, they're not talking to Jeff and being like, we're part of your Summer Game Fest, right? Or are they? Am I underrating the amount of effort and like?
Yeah, I don't know. I got to assume that, I mean, it's a smart call, to see all these showcases and go, yeah, it's all one big festival. It's all one big thing.
I mean, I do like the fact I didn't know this calendar was here. I do like the fact that it organizes all this because I actually really did need this.
Add to calendar. Look at the little add to calendar button.
So shout out to Jeff for doing this.
And even better, it's a mutually benefiting sort of relationship. I'm sure
it's all just promotion.
I'm sure these places
promo.
aren't bummed that they're getting their image sort of shown there.
Because my question is, if Kind of Funny announced a game showcase for Monday, if we refresh this page, does it just show up without us even talking to Jeff?
Well, I don't think Jeff likes Snowbike Mike. So maybe that sort of throws a wrench in it. I'm kidding.
So anyway, yeah. Well, so wait, this is on the website, the Witcher 4
Yes,
Unreal?
it's the first thing.
Oh, State of Unreal. There you
Yeah.
go. Okay, cool. Well, the State of Unreal happened at 6:30 a.m. Pacific time, according to the schedule. And as part of the State of Unreal, CD Projekt Red showed up, and they showed a lot of The Witcher 4. I have an article that I want to read through. But before I read through it, I want to start off with a cinematic that they showed, a 2-minute cinematic that they showed for The Witcher 4 to kind of set the tone and talk about that before we get into the nitty-gritty details about the tech at work in The Witcher 4, because that is what the topic of the show is for this show, is the tech at work going on in there. But
I would love that. I haven't seen it yet.
Barrett, if you can pull up the cinematic trailer so we can live react to it.
Sleep, is he? The ploughing plonker. Break me pearlies on this blasted pit-ridden tract. Where's Veer on dry road? Oi! The devil's after him! He's running from!
Oh, Jesus.
Fuck.
Oh.
Somebody's gotten killed. Ripped out of the cart. that
Audio
they're in.
listeners, a man was ripped from the vehicle.
Was just ripped from the vehicle. And it looks like the vehicle they're in, the carriage they're in, is being carried by a monster.
I'm gonna watch it on my laptop. I synced it up time-wise.
Looks like a griffin.
Things aren't working out for him. It's very disgusting looking
Yeah, what
monster.
would you call that creature?
I don't
Is
even
that-
know.
Is that a griffin?
I don't think it was.
That doesn't look like
it
a
had the
griffin.
mouth
A
of like an
wyvern?
orc.
Are wyverns the big bat-looking things? It looks like a big bat.
No, wyvern's a dragon that doesn't have
Right,
Yeah.
you're right, yeah.
where its arms or its
Manticore.
wings. Man, that looks
Everybody in chat is
fantastic.
saying manticore.
Holy cow.
We got Siri on screen.
Almost had me fooled, Fruin.
hot damn. And then we get a quick scene.
I will say, unfortunate that whatever this trailer was reposted by IGN is a 1080p enhanced bitrate. I'm not sure if the OG stream was in 4K at all, but I would hope so.
This longer video that we have directly from the Witcher YouTube page does go up to 4K.
Nice.
There we
beautiful.
go.
Okay, that's lovely.
We weren't sure where this was in that video, so we just decided to react to this.
Even
Yeah.
better. I mean, looks
First blush.
stunning. One thing I will say, just sort of first impressions and reactions from it, is if you bring back up the footage just on these two NPCs, Barrett, for the little of Witcher 3 I've played, it's still like my biggest gaming sin is that I only put like 5 or 6 hours into
Which
it.
surprises me.
And that was as of recently, like when
Yeah.
it came back as
remaster?
when they sort of, did the
port.
like the enhanced version, yeah.
Yeah.
That's when I sort of hopped into it. And I think initially my big worries about CD Projekt Red moving to Unreal and losing the Red Engine was that you worry about things becoming very homogenous. You worry about things sort of looking samey.
Yeah.
If the whole future seems to be like it's always going to be Unreal Engine 5, and there's a lot of positives and negatives to that. I think positives, it helps out great for employees and coworkers and games to get done quicker because you're bringing in employees that don't have to learn a new engine because the last 2 games they worked on were on Unreal Engine 5 as well, and like that just helps speed up the process a bit more. But my worries have been calmed a little bit because still looking at the way these characters look, obviously they're not only calm because the game looks amazing, but it still looks very Witcher. These NPCs still look like they've been kind of ripped out from the Witcher 3 game and just up-resed and made to look better with lighting and everything. There's still something about the look of it that feels right. I think whenever indie games show off that they are working in Unreal Engine 5, it always kind of has the same sort of look, but you discount the fact that larger teams can customize this shit out of Unreal Engine 5 and push tech further in certain areas. The game looks really damn stunning, and the fact that they're saying it's PS5.
That's the thing is, and we're watching the cinematic, right? And we're after this, Barrett's going to bring up some of the actual. I was going to say actual gameplay, but they did come around and say that it's essentially gameplay running in the same like engine as The Witcher 4, but it's not straight up Witcher 4 gameplay. I have a different article that I'll find and pull up in a second to kind of clarify that, right? But like as we watch this cinematic, my first blush is this looks fantastic, and I think to hop off of what you're saying as far as them hopping to this new engine, I think it's very key that they are very clearly partnered with Epic in Unreal Engine 5, and this is sort of the showcase game for the engine, because like that means that they're talking and they're working together very closely, and I think that is exactly what you want. One of the things that I'll say about Cyberpunk 2077, as far as one of my favorite things about it, is how that game looks, both stylistically, but then also like how the technology pulls the style together. When I'm walking through Night City and I see the lights and I see the way the characters move and animate and I see like how much they have going on in that world, there's a distinct style there. Even when I go back and play The Witcher 3, which 2015 game, and so when I played in 2024 or whatever, like, there is a sense of, all right, I can tell if this looks a little bit old. There is still a sense of style and a sense of intention in walking through the forests and seeing how the lights come through the trees, and like I think there has been something special that CD Projekt's been able to do and maintain with the visuals of their games within the Red Engine. But making the shift to Unreal Engine 5, the thing that you would hope the most is that you're still getting like that top tier, no, we're putting everything into like how this is gonna present, and like how we're gonna implement the technology to like make the facial animations look good, make the lighting look great, make the amount of textures going on in the backgrounds and all that stuff great, make the foliage feel full, all that stuff. And I'm happy that they're working this closely with Epic, with whatever this partnership is, right, to like make it happen. Because as we're watching the gameplay demo start here, this looks fucking insane. And of course, it's a tech demo. The game is still years out. This is a showcase, and so like who knows how this is gonna differ from the final thing. I do love this as a presentation for what they're doing, because as they go into this, they talk about like how they've gotten the foliage to this level, right? Like what they're doing with crowds and stuff. I do have an article that I want to read from Polygon to give some context to this, titled "The Witcher 4 has been shown running on PS5 in stunning new demo footage." This is written by Isaac Rouse at Polygon. At the State of Unreal 2025, CD Projekt Red unveiled an impressive new tech demo for The Witcher 4, highlighting its cutting-edge graphics, immersive world design, and the debut of nanite foliage, which dramatically enhances the realism of natural environments. We're introduced to Kelpie, Ciri's horse companion, a sleek black stallion with a red saddle that matches her red and black attire. While riding, the upgraded physics engine is on full display. Kelpie's body moves with realistic weight, and individual muscles are visibly flexing as she gallops, adding an impressive layer of authenticity. If you're watching the video version, they're about to show it in a second. And one of my favorite parts where they zoom into the horse's legs and actually show the muscles as they're going to kind of show like the level of detail they're putting in to make sure the horse feels real and natural. Continuing on with the article. Oh, here it is. The horse is running.
Look at the muscle
Look at
groups.
the muscles.
God
This
dang.
shit is insane. And then they fucking, show the actual anatomical muscles.
Yeah, they show like the musculature underneath the skin, and it's not just artists and designers, pushing pixels in certain ways. And not to discount that, but a lot of it is like, no, we want these things to be as accurate as possible, and that's why you're seeing those muscle
we have
groups
systems
flex
to
in certain
simulate how
moments.
this actually looks. Continuing on in the article, the camera then pulls back to showcase the surrounding wilderness thanks to Unreal Engine 5.6's nanite foliage. The demo features trees, grass, and plant life rendered with incredible density, lifelike detail, and essentially unlimited draw distance. Zooming back in, Ciri arrives at a bustling town. Here, the game's world responsiveness shines. In a crowded market, townsfolk gather to watch a performing bear, while Ciri weaves through the throng. She bumps into a passerby carrying a crate of apples, prompting him to react and drop a few pieces. Even small details, like being able to seamlessly have your Witcher drop a coin to a beggar, add to the world's interactivity and depth. Andy, how do you react to what you're seeing here?
I mean, it's, everything, this hustling and bustling town, seeing all of the nanite tech working on the foliage earlier was really, really damn cool.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about this on the prior Gamescast where, we were all really stunned by the Cyberpunk footage that one year, and then kind of figure out exactly what was going on there. And you go, all right, we've been down this road before. I've been lied to before. I've been tricked before, and it still blows me away that this is running on a PS5, with the level of fidelity that we're getting. And I think a lot of my judgments will have to be reserved for the inevitable Digital Foundry breakdown to see exactly what sort of pixels are being pushed or what sort of pixel count we're actually looking at. Because if it's a normal PS5, that means that we're not getting any sort of up-resing technology necessarily being used a whole lot.
Yeah.
And
they don't have the PSSR.
They don't got that pisser.
They don't got the pisser in there.
I mean, it's stunning. It's super impressive. And I think the level of crowds that they were able to get to make these worlds feel super, like, just really, really natural. And these little random events happening. Again, this isn't necessarily even gameplay, though, right? This is just like...
So the update that VGC got from CD Projekt Red, VGC writes, CD Projekt Red has confirmed to VGC that what was shown wasn't Witcher 4 gameplay, but a tech demo set in the Witcher 4 world. Quote, "This is a tech demo and a first look at the cutting-edge technology powering the Witcher 4, but not the Witcher 4 itself," a spokesperson said to VGC. "It showcases the powerful foundation we're building in close collaboration with Epic Games to push open-world design further than ever before, and the core systems and features we're developing using Unreal Engine 5. We're really proud of this early milestone and excited to give you a sneak peek at some of the cool tech like UAF, nanite foliage, smart objects, ML deformer, and fast geo streaming that are helping shape the future of The Witcher."
These the facial reactions and mocapping and everything looks so freaking impressive. And I can't wait to watch and break more of it down, Blessing.
Yes. After a word from our sponsor.
This episode's brought to you by X-Real. Y'all know that a few months ago, my life changed forever when I brought a pair of X-Real 1 AR glasses on a long flight to New York. I legit could not believe how easy it is to use and high quality my experience was playing games, watching movies, TV shows on the plane without just too much extra stuff around me, or especially not a giant goofy headset around my head. No joke, this is my favorite new tech product in years, and it has earned a permanent spot in my travel bag. It is only hard to believe that it works as well as I'm saying until you try X-Real 1 AR glasses for yourself. And then you will see that the future is now. The tech is here. Connect X-Real 1 glasses to wherever you are playing, whether it's a handheld console, a PC, phone, home console. You just get a massive 150-inch virtual screen anywhere, anytime, for any game. Gaming on the go like a long-haul flight, you need the X-Real 1. Neck starting to hurt from staring down at your handheld? We've all been there. You need an X-Real 1. A screen as big as your wall. Instant plug and play with all of your devices via USB-C. Built-in audio with sound by Bose, anchoring your screen anywhere in space. It's awesome. It just works. Zero latency at 1080p full HD. These are what make X-Real 1 a must-have. And we hear X-Real 1 Pro is coming soon with an even bigger virtual screen. Hit our link below to get your X-Real glasses today. There's nothing better than when a sponsor of Kinda Funny is something that we are legitimately obsessed with, and that is exactly the case here with X-Real. You're going to hear me talking about these forever. Go to xreal.com for more.
And we're back. And I want to bring in a super chat from Guitar Hero Arrow, who writes in and says, I haven't felt this way about a gameplay tease / reveal since RDR2. This looks fucking incredible. I'm going to lose myself in this game. And I think for me, I want to start there because I think you give really, really good context as far as where we're at around this time before Cyberpunk 2077 came out, as far as like, you know, impressions that we got from footage before the game came out, promises that were made, and then the game comes out and it's a mess, right? And like we get that all the time with games that target a certain thing, or at least they reveal like, oh, this is the technology we're working with, this is the target that we're trying to hit, and then the thing comes out and we're like, okay, well, we're not anywhere close to that. I think what I want to bring to the conversation are games like GTA 6 and then also Death Stranding 2, which is one of the games that I got to preview recently, and I talked about how good that game looks and how like even on a base PS5, there are certain things that are being hit that I'm like, I can't believe what I'm looking at. I can't believe how good, like how detailed and good these games, these environments, these characters look. With Unreal Engine 5, Andy, like, do you look at the footage we're seeing with The Witcher 4 and go, ain't no way? Or is it more so just a thing of like trying to get ahead of the hype cycle?
Well, I only say that just because I'm constantly kind of a pessimist when it comes to these things. But then I get hyped and then you get excited at what the possibilities can be. But I know of several devs and have seen other devs mention, when the PS5 Pro was sort of being released, people that work in the industry and that have been there for years and years and years go, we haven't even fully unlocked what we can do with the PS5. Like, we're just kind of now getting to that point. And that does give me hope. And I also, maybe I'm putting misplaced trust where it shouldn't, where it doesn't deserve to be. But I believe that CD Projekt Red, first off, I think that they're very smart by saying, hey, this isn't gameplay.
This is a tech demo running in the world.
This is a tech demo running in the world that does not represent. We're hoping this could represent what it could be, right?
Yes.
And that's all sort of pie in the sky if everything works out perfectly. It does, to me at least, if I were to put my money on it, I would say that what we're seeing is all real and all possible, because I think we're getting to that point where with enough time with development, these devs and these teams can slowly kind of unlock what the PS5 and what this generation can actually do. Mm-hmm. And then it will only look better from there, where then you talk about not only just ray trace reflections, but now we talk path tracing. Now we talk the real high limit of you have a $2,500 or a $3,000 PC. This is how it's going to look on a 5090 or whatever. I do think that what we're seeing here looks really, really damn good. And I believe that it's running on PS5. And I think that once we hopefully get whatever the next Xbox could possibly be, because this is clear that this is going to be some sort of cross-generation type game.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. To get a PS6
and
version
then
of this.
we'll see it kind of running at where, at its actual full potential. But I mean, even right now, not the best example, but when you're on console and you run into a building in Fortnite and it's using Unreal Engine 5 and it's using its Lumen system and like all of the bells and whistles that Unreal Engine kind of has right now, it's like, damn, this is running on console and it's really kind of impressive looking already. And I think Unreal Engine 5 is getting better and better about making amazing things run more efficiently and lighter weight,
Yeah, I remember this is another one for the Decima Engine example that Death Stranding 2 runs on, but like did you ever check out the Horizon DLC, Burning Shores?
No, I did not.
So that DLC, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe it was PS5 exclusive, whereas like the actual game was PS4, PS5.
Right. Okay.
And the like facial animations in Horizon Burning Shores were off the chain in a way that, again, I could not believe. Like when you mention, some developers even mentioned that like we're not even unlocked what we could do on PS5 yet. I feel like we're starting to see more and more of those hints of like, oh shit, yeah, no, there's a lot of potential here left for what you can do. And so when you combine that with the Unreal Engine 5 aspect of it and like it making it easier to do things, what they talk about with the foliage system that they have here, so, and like even the horse muscle system, which I'm sure translates to humans as well. Right?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, like when you talk about those things and like the things that maybe an animator might not have to think about as much, when it's okay, cool, I can make my horse run or I can make my humans move a bit more naturally because the systems already exist in the game to like have their muscles move in certain ways. Cool, now I can focus more on this other aspect, and like these games are going to look better naturally and a bit easier, which is really exciting for hopefully getting to this level someday.
And it all comes down to time. And whenever we look at devs with little time making games on hardware that's maybe underpowered, you think of how the constant comparisons between something like Tears of the Kingdom compared to Pokemon Scarlet and Violet.
Yeah.
And one game is a game that's clearly a game that was rushed as hell. And that's why it looks the way it does, because you don't fully have the time to optimize and make the most out of what we can show people without it running at 5 frames per second. So you're going to get what you get right now. And yes, it's running at 26 frames per second. And you're kind of lucky it's running at 26 frames per second because we just didn't have time to fully go through with it. And I think CD Projekt Red, a lot of those, I love this sort of look, by the way, of like exactly what's happening for audio listeners. We're seeing the trees and the nanite tech on these individual leaves.
They kind of reduce
breaking
them down to voxels and then show how they kind of then expand out to being full foliage.
So damn impressive. But yeah, I think a lot of this comes down to time and those lessons learned with Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
And how the behind the scenes footage or behind the scenes murmurings from people on the dev team going, when they said that we were releasing the game on this time, we all just laughed and we were like, yeah, fucking right, dude. Mm-hmm. This is not ready. We are at least a year out or whatever. And I think another great thing about this being on Unreal Engine 5, as somebody who doesn't want everything to be on Unreal Engine 5, I still see all the positives. And one of those positives comes from the CD Projekt Red sort of actual write-up article on their website, which is just announcing what they were going to show here today. But we get a quote from joint CEO of CD Projekt Red, Michael Nowakowski, who says, "We started our partnership with Epic Games to push open world game technology forward. To show this early look at the work we've been doing using Unreal Engine running at 60 frames per second on PlayStation 5 is a significant milestone and a testament of the great cooperation between our teams, but we're far from finished. I look forward to seeing more advancements and inspiring technology from this partnership as development of Witcher 4 on Unreal Engine 5 continues." And then we get another quote from Tim Sweeney at Epic Games, who says, "CD Projekt Red is one of the industry's best open world game studios, and we're grateful that they're working with us to push Unreal Engine forward with The Witcher 4. They are the perfect partners to help us develop new world building features that we can share with all Unreal Engine developers." And that's the stuff that I love. And I totally still feel like I don't want every game to be on Unreal in the future, but then I see the benefits of look at the tech that we're building and the tech that can be shared with other developers that are making their stuff in Unreal Engine 4, and the teams of 20 that go, man, if we could afford a team of 100, we could maybe do that. All of these tools being implemented and developed can kind of make those things possible for smaller teams.
Especially when you have a game that is as big as The Witcher doing it, right? Like coming off of having their own engine and having experience with like open worlds and wanting to make worlds that are demanding of what they are. You wanted an engine that can meet that demand. And so, yeah, having The Witcher 4 be the one to kind of lead this charge, I keep bringing up Decima, but it's just the easy example to give, right? Of like, that's a collaboration between two developers, right? That was Guerrilla Games, and then Kojima Productions came to them, and now they have like a back and forth shared synergy of like, oh, what if we did this? Oh, what if we did this? And like learning from each other, and therefore both those games look fantastic. When you have the power and money and wealth of Epic Games right behind Unreal, and like what they're already trying to do in Unreal with things like Fortnite and other games, and then you have The Witcher 4, which is this world that one has a lot of popularity, a lot of people care about what CD Projekt Red is working on, but then is a realistic world and one that you want the most fidelity for, you want the most like things that work for, as far as when we're talking about foliage, when we're talking about lighting, when we're talking about the natural I guess feel of a crowd. The thing that really hits me in watching this footage is seeing Ciri walk into the town and seeing like her slowly take off the hood, and then the guard kind of like try to like, you know, get at her or spit at her right there, right? And then like they come up off on the bear that's like performing for this crowd, and everything is happening so naturally. And The Witcher 4 is a game that you would want to figure all that stuff out for, and that is then going to trickle down to the other developers that might have ideas for wanting to do these kinds of things. Guess what? Unreal Engine 5 already has maybe like, I don't know, settings, or like already has tools in place to make those things happen a bit more naturally.
You have the bear dancing tool.
Yeah, I want to make a dance. I was gonna say I want a dancing bear. There's a good portion of people that don't know why that's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
That are going to be watching our content.
Now, the drawbacks from this is sort of the drawbacks that we've seen with something like Watch Dogs 1 with that first sort of trailer where everything is so wet in that trailer, and you're like, man, look at these reflections. It is pouring in this city.
Can you bring up the Watch Dogs 1 trailer?
But
that trailer changed my life until the game came out.
As you're walking through the town as Ciri, and we see all of these lively interactions, this Witcher 4 game better have that in every goddamn town. Or else people are going to keep on pointing back and go, yeah, we know it said it was a representative of the game. We know it wasn't actual gameplay, but look at what it could have been. You know what I mean? And look at this shiny ass concrete, man. The specularity maps on the water. Oh, screen.
Also, it's crazy how much this blew my mind in 2013.
Dude, it was crazy.
2013, I was like, this is the craziest shit of all time.
This is directly from Ubisoft, so this is like the best version I can find.
We've come so far.
Yeah, we definitely come.
This looked so much better.
I was in
my
art
head.
school when this shit dropped, and all of us just like stopped class and we were like, put that shit on the screen. This is crazy.
No joke. I'm watching this right now, and I'm like, you're telling me the game looked worse than this? That's crazy. That must have looked like dog shit.
But yeah, when I see this video, and obviously this video is it's the most vertical slice of a vertical slice you could have, right? Because it's not even a vertical slice of the game. It's a vertical slice of a demo that we're showing you what the game could look like. But
like, it's tough to imagine like an actual open world, right? Like an actual open world The Witcher 4 video game that is interactive and doing all these things.
How many times are we going to see a guy bump into Siri and drop an apple is what I'm kind of getting at.
How many times are we going to see a dancing
bear? Turns out in one night you can see multiple, depending on the quality. The facial animations look freaking fantastic, and there's also a quote that I got from somebody had asked one of the developers a question. This is from Kotaku.
Ooh.
A spokesperson for CD Projekt Red told Kotaku that the only changes were made to Ciri in the new trailer. Or that only 2 changes were made to Ciri in the new trailer, one of which has already been changed again. It's the same character model we used in the 2024 trailer. Ciri's face has a direct copy of the Witcher 3 model. adapted to work with the latest metahuman technology. 2 subtle changes were made to improve animation quality, slightly raised eyebrows, more relaxed eye area, and the latter was present in the trailer, but has since been removed. But metahuman technology being one of those key things that is a part of the Unreal Engine, that is one of the things that they is one of the things that they really focus on, in addition to nanite, in addition to lumen lighting technology, in addition to well, I guess not nanite was the other one I was thinking of. But like metahuman being this easy, amazing way for developers to get really good variety with like characters and facial animation and all that stuff. Just, it really, really excites me for what the future of gaming could look like with smaller teams taking on Unreal Engine 5 and using this suite of technology that would have otherwise been crazy expensive to develop or would have otherwise been impossible because you don't got the budget for it, you know?
Yeah. I want to bring in a super chat from Gerald of Rivia, very fitting for this episode.
Great name.
What mechanics do you think the tech in UE5 could inspire or improve upon for the game?
What I ultimately hope to see is what they're doing over on the... I'm blanking on the name of the engine, but it's for the Crimson Desert game.
Oh, yeah.
It's for their in-house engine. What I'm hoping to see is a lot of gameplay mechanics surrounding not just levolution, but the burning of wood that eventually chars enough and it's able to be broken. That sort of level of interactivity, I think... Yeah, the Black Space engine. Thank you, Barrett. The Black Space engine is the engine that they have for Black Desert Online and now for Crimson Desert. It's their in-house engine, and it's why you look at the tech specs for the game of Crimson Desert, and you're like, there's no way this game is real. And they go, no, all this shit can run on a 2060 or whatever GPU. You don't need the latest hardware because it's all in-house, it's all internal, and we're not using a bunch of different tools from everywhere. Everything's being sort of made here. What I want to see, Gerald of Rivia, is the gameplay of interactivity, of not just cool visuals and a million billion particles on the screen. I want to see a moment where, you know, if I'm using a fire spell, I see that fabric on the top right start to slowly burn, or and that's just not for visual sake. That's for also, you know, maybe that thing falls down and now that's usable or something like that. I want to see these
like
tangible...
how does it affect the gameplay?
Yeah, these tangible in-world items be interactive.
Yeah, that's the stuff that I've not seen talked about as much. Granted, I have not watched the full video yet. We didn't have time before this, but like, yeah, that's the stuff I want to see more. Like, I don't really, from hearing how much they're putting at the forefront of this, the nanite technology, the metahuman stuff, and then there was a third keyword. But like lumen, thank you, the lighting stuff there, right? Like, none of that really for me has effects on gameplay. That stuff all has effect on visuals and how the world looks and how alive the world feels, which I think is very important for The Witcher 4, right? Or for The Witcher as the kind of game that it is. But yeah, I would love to see them talk about that stuff more, as far as what you're mentioning with the Black Space engine, because that's the stuff that really gets me excited, even though I don't see The Witcher as the kind of game that might be as, I don't want to say as interactive, because it's the most interactive you can get, but like, I don't see it being as, I guess, systems heavy in the gameplay, as far as like what I think about when I think about what Crimson Desert is presenting itself as being. Or even something like, you know, like Tears of the Kingdom. Yeah, Breath of the Wild was going to be the reference I made also, as far as like how physics interact for you to get these unique and interesting situations. A lightning spell allowing water to use that lightning, you know what I mean? Like, if you throw a lightning bolt at a lake and see enemies in there get shot, you know, that sort of level of environmental stuff. There's a clip that I remember taking from Breath of the Wild that I think is lost now. When I lost my Switch, it was saved to that Switch. But the one in the airplane. The one in the airplane, yeah, it's fucked up. Did you replace it with an OLED? Yeah. Well, I think the one that I lost was an OLED, and then I bought another OLED. I know. But yeah, in there I had a clip of like myself doing like one of those like challenge rooms that they added in DLC, and what I was fighting some enemies, and then I used like a heat or like a fire arrow, and then the grass, like the tall grass, caught on fire, and then created an updraft, and so I used my glider to like get height off of the updraft, and then busted out my arrow, and then it went to slow motion, and I took out an enemy, and I was like, this is the coolest shit I've ever done in any video game, and it is thanks to the physics systems that are available in Tiers. I want more video games to do that kind of shit. But that's also, that shit, yeah. That's that shit that I love. If you were able to look back at
the game that came out, I think earlier in the year. I can't believe I'm already here with the year 2025, where this happens every year. You're like, wait, that came out this year? Eternal Strands
It did come out early in the year.
was a game by Mike Laidlaw's team, and that was very Breath of the Wild light in what it was trying to do with being a primarily physics-based video game. I want like a very physics-based, systems-heavy Witcher game.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want it to be one for one with just hack and slash, but freeze.
Hash and slap.
But like the fact that in this game you can use your ice power to not only just freeze enemies, but if I'm between two parts, shooting out ice and then using that as a bridge to cross two areas, like it.
Yeah.
That's a type of like magic that I see. Is like, wow, I can't believe that's possible.
And I guess that circles back into an answer for Gerald of Rivia, which is like a big part of Witcher is hunting down creatures and tracking them and like taking them down. And I think there is potential, right? Of like, you have so much detail. What are the things that you can do a bit more naturally in the world to make this almost feel like a hunting sim in some ways of like, okay, I am tracking these griffin, I'll say griffin footsteps, but I guess the griffin would fly. We'll do a
They
Cyclops.
land, though.
They do land and walk around sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, I'm chasing a Cyclops. I'll say a Cyclops because they have to walk.
This is the Pidgey conversation in our Pokemon Nuzlocke of going like the Pidgey's on the ground. It's got to be a ground type.
Jesus Christ. You just use a fucking earthquake to
Ground
try and take out a fucking Pidgey. But yeah, like if I can follow the actual steps of a thing and like if you can use the detail available in the game to make that stuff feel a bit more like permanent and like, I guess, exaggerated a bit so I can like actually feel like I'm really hunting a thing down. Instead of like the highlight button to then like follow like the Batman scan vision type thing that you get in most games.
I love the idea of not pre-placed footprints or footsteps, but in a similar way to when there's foot deformation in snow. That first time you saw it in Red Dead Redemption 2, and you're like, whoa, look at, if you were to actually see real-time displacement in the ground in mud.
Yes.
Where you see the footprint of something, and it isn't just an icon that pops up with a little exclamation point that says, oh, there's probably footsteps right here. If you could see that shit in real time and it lead to these, these sort of moments in gaming that you have in Red Dead 2 where suddenly you're being attacked by a legendary beast and it catches you super off guard, that would be really, really damn awesome.
And like the stuff that we're talking about with like fire and how that interacts with colder things and how like, I think there are ways you can use that for the world of The Witcher 4 for hunting specifically, because that feels a bit more appropriate. But at the end of the day, right, The Witcher 4 has to be what The Witcher is as a video game, which is narrative based, get into combat, you're like, completing quests and all that stuff. Like, I don't necessarily want them to force in physics systems that don't really make the game what it is, but that's what this shit is for, right? These tools are to make the best game that you want to make the best Witcher game that you can make here. So
it's not even necessarily that I want it to be a core component. I want it to be a result. I'm not.
Yeah.
I still want Witcher combat to feel good and be using your sword and your parrying and stuff. But if I knock an enemy into a tree, I would love to see the enemy kind of like stagger against that tree and be fucked up, and then the tree eventually breaks down.
Oh yeah.
And then falls and hits something else. Like that's one reason why I just love physics gameplay, and that's probably just me, only talking about the things I love and what I love seeing.
Yeah.
But like Dragon's Dogma 2 was so much fun because of the random moments of drop kicking a little orc and him falling back and hitting his orc friend, and they both fall down. Like I just love that sort of level of interactivity.
That's when the world feels reactive.
Yeah.
Man, I got some ways I can take this conversation. Also, we're not running long, but like we're longer than I thought we were gonna go on this.
Yeah.
I'll bring in a super chat real quick from CJ Splitzen, who says Witcher 4, Fable 4, Elder Scrolls 6, most hopeful for. I'm hopeful for all three, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, of course.
I think all three are gonna be great.
Witcher 4, Fable 4,
And Elder Scrolls 6.
Elder Scrolls 6. Part of me feels like Elder Scrolls 6 may have the largest room for improvement because we're coming off of Starfield.
Sure.
And you know, you want to hope that there are lessons learned. You want to hope that there is a larger level of interactivity and maybe we can shoot any NPC and we're not barred from like shooting that one villain because he said something assholish to you and you shoot him and the bullet goes through his head and nothing happens. Like, you hope that there have been lessons learned to where they go, man, we really need this writing to be so top tier and top notch, and we need these NPCs to be so lifelike with how they interact with you.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one that I am maybe most hopeful for. Where the other ones, feel like I'm going to be pretty stoked with them because I kind of know what to expect.
Yeah. Yeah. That's my thing is I think if we're talking about Metacritic wise, like I think Witcher 4 probably has like the highest. I think Witcher 4 would be the one I would bet on. Even though we are coming off of Cyberpunk, but Cyberpunk got there in the end as far as being a really incredible game.
We're also kind of like predicting NBA Finals winner for 2026.
Yeah.
Like this season isn't even over yet, so it's also kind of hard to get there. But
yeah. As far as which one I'm most excited for, it's between Witcher and Elder Scrolls. I'll say Witcher because we're here. It's a Witcher video, so
yeah,
I'm excited for Witcher today. Ask me tomorrow. It's gonna be Elder Scrolls. My last question for you, Andy. We know that The Witcher 4 is firmly in the production stage because CD Projekt Red, very transparent as far as where they're at working on all their games. They moved from pre-production to production for Witcher 4. After seeing some of the tools we've seen here and what they have in this tech demo, when do you think we actually see this game come out? Do you have any guesses?
I'll say, well, the recently going into production thing, was that not Cyberpunk? Or was that them entering pre-production?
I think they just announced Cyberpunk 2. But I think Witcher 4 went into production like 7 months ago or something.
Okay, Cyberpunk 2 entered pre-production phase. My bad.
Yeah.
I would see this game coming out in 2029.
Wow. Damn. I would have said 2028. Maybe 2027. 2027 feels like quick, but
That's
it's also
pushing it.
But Cyberpunk came out in like 2020.
And then they spent a lot of time trying to fix Cyberpunk.
Yeah. And
Like,
doing DLC and
yeah.
doing all that stuff. Yeah.
It just depends on the mobility of their teams and who's working on what and how they are allocating their people to be working on certain projects, you know?
I also do wonder like the scope of some of these things because they do have like 1 billion games in production right now, it feels like. Because yeah, they have Cyberpunk 2, but then also they have a Witcher remake that they're working on, I believe still, unless they
Is that
cancel it.
in-house or is that a port?
That's a really
house?
good question. I'm not positive.
The Witcher remake.
Look that up as I close down this episode.
Yeah.
Because, ladies, gentlemen, MBs, that brings us to the end of your second Gamescast for the day. That's right, you got a KFGD and 2 Gamescasts. You guys are spoiled today. All right? Don't ask me for anything ever again. I need y'all to stay out my mentions and my DMs if you're asking me for anything.
We didn't get to play the Sentient Pest today.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But we got to see some cool tech.
We got to see some cool tech.
I'm getting really... Man, I made myself sad by saying 2029.
You made me sad. Like, I was like, damn.
I'm
Like,
sorry, man.
I mean, I get that you're being safe about it. I'm
Well,
gonna say
I mean,
2028.
I mean, it was 8 years between the first Cyberpunk reveal and the game coming out.
Yeah.
Or was it
So
7
right.
years?
But it was still like from Witcher 3 to Cyberpunk, it was like 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn. I'm sorry I bummed everybody out.
Yeah, you bummed me out. Anyway, that's it. That's our Gamescast. I've been Blessing. That's been Andy. Support us on Patreon. Till next time, it's been our pleasure to serve you.
And there's no stream after this.